Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Infernal Archive. We're bringing you another contemporaneous review. Today we're going to go see Clown in a Cornfield, a film I know next to nothing about. I haven't even seen the trailer. I've seen the poster. Maybe it's a different. Maybe I saw the poster for It, and I'm confusing it. Lots of clown movies. Andrew, could you give us the one line and the info or whatever?
So it is, came out this year, directed by Eli Craig, who is the writer-director of Tucker and Dale versus Evil. A fading Midwestern town in which Friendo the Clown, a symbol of bygone success, reemerges as a terrifying scourge. So if you're chlorophobic, not the movie for you.
Is that the word for being afraid of clowns? Is chlorophobic?
Chlorophobia, yeah.
So Latin for clown must be chlor. Or chloro.
Chlora, or I don't know. Chlorophobia, yeah.
Chlor. I like that word. That's terrifying. Anyways, we're going to go check it out, and then we will give you our thoughts when we're back.
What have you done to his eyes? What have you done to him, you maniac?
And welcome back, children of the night. We just got back from seeing Clown in the Cornfield. And what a corny clown.
In a cornfield.
Cornfield, not the cornfield. Which does elicit the question of, like, what is the cornfield? Is there the cornfield? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Yeah, what a corny clown it was. Andrew.
Yeah.
How'd you feel?
In a word, meh. I was really hoping for something more in line with this director's previous work, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which is one of those like hidden gem cult classic movies, horror comedy. So I wasn't expecting to be scared going into this, but I was expecting, some comedy, some fun, gory slasher mixed with hard-hitting comedy. Maybe something in the vein of like Victor Crowley kind of thing, where it's like
so funny
and hitting those beats, but comedy fell almost entirely flat. Nothing really jumps out at me. There's a couple of specific shots and I'm like, that was kind of cool, but other than that,
the expectation is an interesting one because it's a movie. I like, on the best of days, I don't have like the biggest interest in seeing slashers because there's like a handful of them that I like. I'm like, these are exceptional, but then there's so many that I just don't think are really worthwhile. So it's like, it's not my favorite genre to begin with. So if not, like, it's like, I'm not gonna be jumping to go see one. But like you said, it was the makers of Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. And so, yeah, my first instinct was like, oh, maybe it'll be a comedy. But I also remember with the new Halloween movies, there was a director who, I think he did Danny McBride movies or something. Anyways, he collaborated with Danny McBride, but he was like a comedy guy. And then he pivoted into making horror. And there are some, or like Jordan Peele is another great example, like comedy guy horror, pivoted into horror. So I'm like, oh, maybe this is going to, like, Tucker and Dale was like, oh, I'm going to experiment with horror elements, but I'm not going to lean on them. I'm going to do the comedy instead so I can kind of figure myself out. And then now this is going to be my horror movie. So I was like, maybe that's what it'll be, or maybe it'll be a comedy. But either way, it's like, he's a talented filmmaker, so I'd be excited to see what he has to do. And then, yeah, I came up with an analogy for this film that I think is funny, and I'm gonna tell you what it is. I want you to, so that we figured out this movie costs about $1 million to make. Not a big budget. Impressive to make a movie for $1 million, absolutely.
Definitely in the indie category,
100%.
I believe, with $1 million budget.
Oh, yeah, I think so, for sure. That's the kind of money that you could seek extra the studio system. Like, you could secure that kind of funding. I want you to imagine, if you will, I'm going to take you on a little journey. A man has $1 million. He's like, I want to build something. And then his brain never goes farther than that. He just has the thought, I want to build something. So then he spends that $1 million on buying 2x4s. As many fucking 2x4s as he can get. And nails. And a hammer. And then all he does is he nails one end of a 2x4 to another end of a 2x4 to another end of a 2x4 to another end of a 2x4 to another. And he just does that. Just as much wood as he can use. And then he erects the structure somehow. I don't know, with some sort of cabling. He erects the structure. And now he has this huge, massive tower just made out of 2x4 stacked up and don't ask about the structural integrity. It's up. It's there. Somebody comes over and they're like, wow, that's like a really high tower of 2x4s. And he's like, yes, isn't it grand? And the guy says,
not really.
Not really. It's like, it's not even nearly as tall as the tallest structure that exists. It serves no functional purpose. It kind of looks like shit. Like, it doesn't look bad. Like, they're nice 2x4s. They're not bad 2x4s. Yeah. And the nails you bought are nice. Like, the materials are good.
And
but it's like
built okay. Like,
yeah, it's like a look. But it's like, but at the end of the day, it's a tower made of 2x4s. Like, what do you want from me? That's looking at a structure like that is kind of how I felt after I left this movie, where it's like I came with curiosity, but then I left ultimately with depression because of all the like underlying factors, like the non-ambition, the lack of thought, the really mean way to say it, the creative bankruptcy of it all. I guess is like what really made, like, it bummed me out. This movie really bummed me out.
Bummer. Huh? This is a bummer, man. That's a bummer.
It very much felt like, okay, we have $1 million. How do we come as close as possible to making something that, like you said, that looks and feels like a normal studio picture?
A movie.
A movie. Like, it's like, well, that Morbius thing. It is a movie of all time.
Exactly.
Like,
That is, yeah. It felt like, yeah, that's exactly right. It's like you made a movie for the sake of making a movie, and
with
nothing beyond that.
No vision, really. Like,
no. Nothing. I said there was a shot you said earlier you liked some of the longer takes in that one murder scene.
I just thought technically it was well done. Mm-hmm. That's as far as I'll go. Like, technically it's like, oh cool, they did what I'm pretty sure was like 2 long shots that like,
it could have been a oneer. I wasn't paying enough attention, but you thought it might have been.
It might have been. Like, if it wasn't a oneer, it was close.
Yeah, and at least pretty long
yeah,
takes.
And like that, anytime you achieve that and it works, it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, went for something there.
Yeah. And like the last shot of the film looked cool and was interesting.
Yes, that's when we left the theater. I was like, because in my head I was like, hands down. I was like, this is the best shot of the whole movie. Is the last shot, because in the movie, like, obviously there's clowns, there's cornfields, clowns kill people, whatever. It's a slasher movie, and the clowns keep leaving these little Jack in the Boxes, pop, 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 and they pop up. And also didn't like the inconsistency of the Jack in the Boxes. I think 80% of them would pop up by themselves, and then randomly some of them the guy would have to crank, and I'm like, so are these automatic Jack in the Boxes? Are these not automatic Jack in the Boxes? Are they set already? What is the deal here? Can we have some consistency in the fucking Jack in the Boxes? Then at the end, our main character, like, whatever, they've survived the night and it's all happy and whatever. And she's in her vehicle. She's driving away from her hometown to, like, go to college or something. And there is a Jack in the Box there in the passenger seat. She's like, oh my goodness. And instead of like opening it or cranking it or whatever, she's like, yeah, fuck this. I'm done with this. Throws it out the window. And it's this great shot where, and I don't know, it could have been a composited shot, but I don't think it was. I think they did. I think they did
practical.
I think they did multiple takes to try to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be easy enough that, like, there's ways to cheat this. But the effect was very good. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so car, like, you see the Jack in the Box like hit the road, and then the car drive by, and then the Jack in the Box like nice and perfectly like rolls up, and then 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, and then it pops up, and
as
then
we see
cut
the
to
car
black.
in the distance.
And the timing of it, the framing of it, the choreography, everything. I was like, oh, that's a great shot. It's the last fucking shot of the movie. It's like, it feels like watching someone let themselves drown, and then right when they've lost all energy to be able to do anything, they have one desperate gasp, and then they drown. It's like, oh, you technically fought, I guess. Like, right at the end there, you had the will to live. Like, just for one instant, you had the will to live, and then you fucking died. It's like,
died.
yeah. I can't think of any nice analogies for this movie.
No. I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, I think technically it was sound. Like, there's no. It's like, I think we were saying, it's the opposite of some of the indie movies that we typically see, where usually it's ideas there, elements are there that are interesting, but usually due to budget or lack of experience, they can't quite execute. And this one is the exact opposite. They had the technical prowess, everything they needed there in terms of resources, actors, all that stuff. But then the idea was just, why are we bothering? So I think we both kind of agreed on our scale out of Spooky 13 scale. It's like a 5.5, maybe a 6.
Yeah.
Like,
is
it unwatchable? No, but
it doesn't hit that 6.5 like 50 percentile pass mark. We needed to not let it pass, but then now, like, our thing was like, should we be really mean? And I say we just be fucking mean. Let's give it a 5.5. have that written in the stars as the Infernal Archive score for Clown in a Cornfield. Fuck
Yes, and this will be way more scathing than if they got a Razzie, because this scale and this show has way more reach and is way more important.
Scathing.
Yeah, I mean
we're
broadcasting from some undisclosed location in hell.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
They'll never financially recover this, in the words of an immortal man.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
I mean, the movie did already make back its budget times 3, so what does that tell you about the industry, I guess? But
hopefully this is a mulligan, and because I'm not gonna write off the filmmaker, but I'm close. If there's another one of these, this filmmaker is written off in my fucking mind. One banger does not a good filmmaker make, sir. Christopher Nolan, he's made lots of bangers, and I'm on the verge of hating that guy these days. Andrew, would you mind just regaling our audience with what the Rotten Tomatoes gave it?
So we've got a tomato meter of 73% and a popcorn meter of 62%. So critic score 62, audience score 73, or is that reversed?
Critic score 73.
73, audience score 62, yeah.
So everybody's way nicer about it than we have been today.
I get where they're coming. If you're into the slasher thing, I could maybe see enjoying this film more than we did, but yeah, I don't know.
If you're a slasher fan, and like literally just the genre, not like I like good slashers, you just like the genre, go see this movie. Like you will see a slasher film. You will technically have seen a slasher film when it ends.
I wish I could say like, oh, Will Sasso's in this movie and
he's so well utilized.
It's great, and like you should see
funny.
it if you're a fan of him. But it's like I can't even say that because
he's just a prop.
That would normally be a big plus for me because I'm a big fan of him.
He's so
from Loudermilk, like amazing. But
yeah, he's a prop. He is a glorified prop. Like you could replace him with any other actor, and the performance does not alter. Like nothing. He was not given anything to like work with. Yeah, ultimately kind of a disappointment. Anything else you got to say?
No, do better. That's all I have to say to this filmmaker.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this episode of the Infernal Archive, and we will catch you next time on the next episode.